Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to be entertained by 4 daring young men in their flying machines, and you know what we're going to do? We're going to do everything the Thunderbirds do. We're going to do everything they do, but we're going to do it at the speed of smell.
For more than a quarter century, the Red Baron Pizza Squadron was the premier civilian aerobatic act in North America. The team started in 1979 as a brilliant but one-time promotional tool for Schwan Foods to help market the company's Red Baron brand of frozen pizza. But the pilots began to innovate, and before long, the Red Barons and their Stearman biplanes had become an invaluable part of the Schwan sales and marketing program, eventually becoming the longest-running sponsored formation team in the airshow business. As an act, they helped to define best practices in the airshow business, from pre-show couponing and on-site sampling to corporate hospitality and an extensive VIP ride program. The team was built and organized to sell pizza, and year after year, they did their job extraordinarily well. As airshow performers, they defined excellence for civilian aerobatic teams for nearly 3 decades, performing before tens of millions in a loud, tight, 4-ship formation that never seemed to leave the aerobatic box. Over the years, 16 different pilots worked as airshow performers for the team. Dozens of others provided maintenance and management and even logistical support. Please join me in recognizing the Red Baron Pizza Squadron as the newest members of the ICAS Foundation's Airshow Hall of Fame.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Red Baron contingent includes several dozen past team members, crew members, management, friends, and relatives, so I'll ask for your patience as this great formation makes their way to the stage. This group is justifiably proud of the mark they have left on the airshow industry and community, the friends that they made, and induction of the entire team, all facets of that team, into this, the Airshow Hall of Fame. Let's give that team a big round of applause. They sold some pizza.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, ICAS. Thank you to the ICAS Foundation. On the behalf of the entire team, we'd like to take a selfie. So if everybody could wave, we'd like to take a quick picture. Thank you, Bill, for reminding me of that. On the behalf of the entire team, I'd like to start by acknowledging what an honor it is to be recognized by our heroes, by people with names like Scholl and Franklin and Loudenslager and Hillard and the other inductees and so many of you who are here now. Most of us wanted for a long time to be members of the squadron before we had the opportunity to try out and be selected. And just being on the team for all of us was a dream come true, as is being recognized by all of you here tonight. As we saw in 1979, what was meant to be a one-year promotion had an impact a little bit greater than imagined. The concept took on a life of its own and grew. By 1984, a campaign was launched using 3 of the airplanes together to try and reach 40 major markets. And when in Waco, Texas, training to move those airplanes safely around the country, one of those incredible moments of synchronicity occurred with a Confederate Air Force air show being held in Waco at the end of our week of training. When we were invited to fly in that air show, we didn't want to admit that just because we had 3 identically painted aerobatic airplanes, we weren't really an actual aerobatic team. Instead, we decided to quickly design a routine and impersonate one. So, in a classic case of asking for forgiveness rather than permission, we informed the company after the fact of the first performance of the Red Baron Squadron, and the legend of the squadron was begun. Now, clearly, it takes a lot more than pilots to make a team like we did, and the skilled craftsmen and technicians who caringly rebuilt and maintained our fleet of biplanes over the year, along with the management and administrative support staff, were essential components of our success of the team over the years. Along the way, we learned a lot of lessons, important lessons being members of the team about flying and about life, and the most important of those was about all of the things that we could accomplish together. Now I'd like to introduce a couple of folks who would like to offer their words of thanks and appreciation. Jason Wilson, who took over managing the team after my tenure. Jason?
Thanks, Randy. I'm about to get upset, so I'm going to try to tell a joke real quick. I've got 45 seconds because Brian's going to take up all my time. How many people have been at an air show in a van with 3 other pilots and you're driving the van and they're all telling you what to do? It's very difficult, especially if you don't know what you're doing pre-GPS time. So talking to this audience right now is pretty tough, but I'm going to do my best. Maynard Cruzy, Randy and I want to give some thanks to some people. That's all I'm going to do. Maynard Cruzy. Maynard is, he was the first genius of this squadron and led it until Randy took over. And his innovation and leadership, along with John Bowman, who is a legend, took the squadron to where it eventually got. And they are truly trailblazers and pathfinders. And John, if I'm ever on the Living Legends of Aviation board, you're my vote. So, Jim Carlson and his maintenance team, we've got 3 of the maintenance team members up here right now. We have Merlin, we have Chester, and we have Ryan. These guys, they were the backbone of the squadron, and when you're running 11 airplanes, all over the country, Canada, Mexico, 7 days a week. They're what make it happen, and they're the unsung heroes. So thank you so much, guys. I can't thank them enough. Please give them a huge applause. The magical voices that help build the squadron and narrate each show are a huge part of it. You saw Jerry Van Kempen, his wife Maggie, Bill Vasilovich, Jeff Randall, Danny Clisham, Rob Ryder. They told our story, and they told it while we flew. So thank you so much. All the pilots that were part of the Red Baron team, a lot of us are up here, and a lot of us are all over the country doing whatever. But the ones that can't be here want to say hi to you. This is a big thanks to them as well. I've got to personally say thanks to a couple of people. Bill Stein and Matt Losacker define passion. The red team, Brian, everybody knows Brian Reagan, Matt Losacker and Travis Aukus. I was fortunate enough to fly with them for 3.5 years, almost 4 years. And I've never been around pilots of their ability or professionalism in my life, and I still respect and love them very, very much. Randy Brooks gave me my opportunity at Red Baron. Brian Norris opened this whole world up to me, introduced me to Sean Tucker, and I was an airshow drug addict after that. And Gene Soucy, you've been my hero since I was 12 years old. So thank you very much. I want to introduce my flight lead, Brian Reagan. Thank you.
Yeah, I can read. All right, just a few more words of thanks on behalf of everybody here. I want to mention the moms, like mine, who mended my little airplanes when I was a child, and my spirits whenever I needed it. Hey, Mom. Also, dads. My dad was always looking up in wonder. Always the impeded adventurer, he kept his dreams alive as he worked hard to make our dreams possible. Having taken notice of this, I have spent my life trying to realize some of those dreams that were beyond his reach. I'm trying to get at this layer of inspirational heroes that are out amongst you all. And you know, we're inspired by the adventurers out there, those adventurers that, and their dreams, and most of them are fans. Others go above and beyond to share any small part of this world. There are people like Brian Norris, who spent his career enabling and enhancing the shows of others. Or like Bruce Turner, who gives freely of himself to make the Aeroshell team more successful with very little reward, but being a part of the team. Or Bob Tarbox, who did the same for the Red Baron Squadron as the training videographer. Maynard Cruzy, given little more than an idea, constructed and crafted his vision for what this team at a cost of great personal sacrifice. Jerry and Margaret Van Kimpen inspired us with their translation of that vision into a riveting and fantastical narrative. And all along, our priceless crew and families worked quietly in the background with pride and dedication. The Red Baron Squadron, in its entirety, was a group of people who combined their best skills toward the giant puzzle that came together with each performance. What has drawn me into air shows has always been interesting people, stars and fans alike. Behind me, this is one interesting group of people, as are you all. Now I'll pass you back to the instigator of all the troubles that made the Red Baron Squadron, Randy Brooks.
Thank you, Jason. Thank you, Brian. All of the pilots of the Red Baron Squadron acquired the skill to fly within a few feet of 3 other classic biplanes in formation, upside down, close to the ground. There was risk involved in the flying that we did, and tonight we remember and honor those who are no longer with us because of that. No one had to do what we did. No one has to be an airshow pilot. We all did it because we loved it. We may have loved it for different reasons, but we all shared that love of what we did together. It brought us together then as it brings us together tonight. We were a family, and from time to time we fought the way that brothers fight. But tonight we're all brothers, and we stand proudly in front of you, and we together thank you for this honor and your recognition of our team, which will forever be known as the Red Baron Squadron.
Now, team, stay here for a minute, will you? And just give me a second. There was a time in my life when I would have observed what I saw tonight, and for the sake of timing and getting through this and honoring the next awardees, I wouldn't have done anything about it. But as these inductees were here, and we heard their inspiration tonight, and we saw what they have done throughout the course of their lives, all 3 of the inductees and this team, I was looking down in front of me, and there was this most incredible thing down there. Would you bring that man up here for a photo op, please, that young man? I'm not going to let this one go. You got to get a load of this. This is a future ICAS Hall of Famer. I don't know who he is. Look at this. Wow. I guarantee you that so many of us started that way with a war surplus helmet and an old set of goggles, and it became people like Sonny and like John Moore and like the Red Baron Squadron. Give that young man a big round of applause.